Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Now at 7:30, a Danville business owner is behind bars facing attempted murder and drug charges. We have a full report coming up. Plus, 20 years ago, a man was shot and killed by a Lexington police officer. How his family is now honoring his legacy. And a group of friends are remembering a Pulaski County woman and trying to prevent another death from happening. These stories and more, plus breaking news as it happens, coming up on WKYT this morning. Good morning to you on this Saturday. I'm Whitney Wetzel.
And I'm Mike Linden. It's the day of the big game, and it's also the start of the weekend. Two things coming together, and it's just great. And the weather should follow suit because we're not really seeing much of anything off of the clouds that Defender is picking up. Here on our radar sweeps, we're looking for any rainfall and just not really seeing much of any of that this morning. Now, currently, things are a bit cool, and in fact, we are seeing a few 30s out there. Somerset at 37. Ignore the 48 at Lexington. That's at the airport and just a few miles away at Keeneland, pretty much across the road. Temperatures are right around 44, 45. So that 48 running a bit warmer than normal there at the airport, but nonetheless 44, 45 as we get started this morning in central Kentucky. So a bit cool to get started, but a great looking weekend lies ahead of us. So if you're looking to get out there and check out the fall colors, you should have free reign to go do so. Not much getting in the way today, but boy, with Halloween less than a week away, we are tracking some cold temperatures on the way for the holiday. Coming up, I'll take you hour by hour and show you what kind of cold I'm tracking for next Friday.
Thank you, Mike. New this morning, Danville police say a Boyle County businessman is behind bars facing both attempted murder and drug possession charges after a fight late last night. WKYT's Mark Barber joins us live over the phone in Danville with the latest on this shooting. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Whitney. Police are telling me that the owner of Jerry's Body Shop here in Danville shot a customer at his business just before 11 o'clock last night. Now, according to police, Jerry Mathis pulled the gun on Ricky Cole when they were fighting at the body shop. Officers are telling me that when they got to the body shop, Cole had already been shot once in the stomach, and the two men were wrestling over the gun. Investigators tell me that Mathis was disarmed and arrested by officers. Police say Cole is now in stable condition at UK Hospital. Officers are saying that he owns several rental properties in Boyle County. At this time, investigators aren't saying what led to his shooting. Now, Mathis is charged with attempted murder, as well as possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Police say they don't believe that the shooting was drug-related, but they tell me that Mathis is facing drug charges because officers found drugs on him when they arrested him. He did decline our request to do an interview from the Boyle County Detention Center. Live here in Danville, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you. He was an athlete and just last week named a homecoming prince, but authorities say that same 14-year-old freshman went on a shooting rampage at his high school. It happened yesterday afternoon at a school in Marysville, Washington, just outside of Seattle. Police say the gunman killed one student and injured 4 others before turning the gun on himself. At this point, police have not determined a motive for the shooting. 20 years later, they say they still feel the loss. The family of a young Lexington man killed in a police-involved shooting paid tribute to him last night. 18-year-old Tony Sullivan was shot to death by a Lexington police sergeant in 1994. That sergeant told investigators the shooting was accidental. When a grand jury chose not to indict that Lexington sergeant who shot Sullivan, angry mobs stormed into downtown Lexington.
These kids now, they have to understand that these things aren't easy to deal with.
The Sullivans say they get together to remember Tony every year on or near the anniversary. They've been doing that for the last 20 years. A judge has sentenced a Madison County man to 35 years in prison for killing his great-grandmother. William Tribble pleaded guilty to murder earlier this month. He admitted to killing 78-year-old Joanne Tribble in 2008 at her Richmond home. Police say William Tribble beat her with a hammer. He was just 17 at the time, but police charged him as an adult when they arrested him in 2012. He'll be eligible for parole after 20 years. Last night, friends of a Pulaski County woman gathered to remember her life. Police say Monica Wells was killed by her boyfriend. He's now charged with murder. Friends say Wells would have been 35 years old yesterday. They gathered in Fountain Square to release balloons with messages for her. They say their memorial isn't just for Monica, but all victims of domestic abuse.
Not only are we looking for justice for Monica, but we're trying to give hope to other women who are in this situation before it's too late.
A fund has been set up to help pay for Wells' funeral. Donations can be made at Southern Oaks Funeral Home in Somerset. A Southern Kentucky inmate was beaten while in custody, and this morning investigators say 2 Knox County deputy jailers are responsible. A grand jury indicted the deputy jailers for criminal abuse, among other charges. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to investigators about the case.
Tammy Spicer had just arrived at the Harlan County Jail from the Knox County lockup when police say jail staff knew something wasn't right.
As soon as the inmate arrived, it was pretty clear that she had been assaulted.
Spicer, who had faced various drug offenses and one of resisting arrest, was badly injured. She was taken to the hospital and state police launched an investigation. It resulted in the Knox County Chief Deputy Sheila Brown and Deputy Jennifer Ross being indicted.
We can't go into the exact specifics of the case. However, we know that an assault took place, and it led to indictments today of 2 jailers being arrested.
The criminal abuse allegation states that these 2 women used either torture, cruel confinement, or cruel punishment as they inflicted these serious injuries on the inmate. Brown and Ross are also facing charges of assault 4th and official misconduct.
There's no excuse for an inmate to be assaulted or have any type of injuries while in jail.
Spicer remains in the Harlan County Jail where she's listed as a state inmate. Both Brown and Ross have been placed on administrative leave but signed a surety bond to remain out of jail themselves.
We take that very seriously, and we're going to investigate no matter what detention center it is.
The Knox County jailer said she did not want to comment on the allegations against her employees. In Knox County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The indictments also state the injuries that happened while Spicer was physically helpless at the time. Police say that was based on how she was confined when the alleged abuse happened. Meanwhile, Congressman Andy Barr and challenger Elizabeth Jensen will square off again Monday night for their second and last congressional debate. The debate will take place at EKU Center for the Arts at 7. Jensen and Barr went head-to-head last Monday on KET. The Affordable Care Act was a big topic in that debate. You'll be able to see this one live on the CW Lexington. WKYT's own Bill Bryant will moderate that debate. It is 7:38 and WKYT This Morning is just getting started. After the break, a bus driver gives a would-be thief a surprise of his own. We'll explain next.
A beautiful sunrise so far in Lexington, and it looks like the skies will pretty much stay this way into the middle of the day. A nice mix of sun and clouds for you. But what does that mean for the football game? I'll tell you coming up.